campaign to end violence against women deserves every bit of the attention it's receiving and more. But there are also cases where men are the targets of domestic abuse. One organisation reports it as 1 in 3 incidents of domestic violence. I wanted to ask the panel whether they agree with that statistic, and if so, why male subjects of domestic violence are so heavily excluded from the current discussions.
Okay, Christian Porter.
I don't accept that statistic. I don't know where it's come from. I'll be having a good look at it. This is very sadly, and it's something we just have to be blunt and honest and open about, or we'll never break the cycle. This is a problem that is perpetrated by men against women and girls. Almost overwhelmingly, almost exclusively.
Yeah, can I say on that in terms of in New South Wales, and statistics are interesting, but around 25% of men present as victims of DV assaults out of that cohort. But interesting, of that 25%, more than half of the offender is still male. And I think that's an important part of this process as well, is any victim of crime deserves a service, and that's no doubt. But we can't lose sight of the fact that more than half of the cohort of the male victims, the offenders, are male themselves.
And I think perpetrators get really smart at, pretending to be a victim. They're very good at playing systems as well. I think we need to do more research and get some really solid figures and a better understanding of male victims, because, of course, there must be male victims in that heterosexual relationship context, but it's very, very small.
And speaking of research, Kathy.
Okay, so my understanding of the data is that, the most recent analysis of our big prevalence data for Australia, the Personal Safety Survey, does say, look, 1 in 3 women over 15 have been victims of either physical or sexual abuse from a known man. Okay, but that isn't the same as 1 in 3 men saying that they are victims. In fact, that's a distortion of the data, and the Personal Safety Survey has been very good about clarifying where that data is coming from. There are about roughly 2 million victims of domestic violence reported in the Personal Safety Survey, of which about 450,000 are men. That means there's 30% of the victims of cohabiting partners who are men, and 70% that are women. So that, in fact, you do have a group of men who are reporting victimisation. But you get better data actually out of the British Crime Survey, which has, a survey of 23,000, because they count not victims, they count incidents. So you get a better idea of severity out of the British Crime Survey. So you actually see high rates of reported one-off incidents, like men. So there's a lot of abuse of men, where they're reporting about 9% of men and about 14% of women in the last year. But so that's not too much difference. But actually, when you look at who's reporting 4 or more incidents, 89% were women.
Okay.
When you're looking at, can I just say one more figure, that when you're looking at the number of incidents as a whole, 81% were violence by men against women. So that, when you look at severity, you get a different picture emerging, and it's very clearly a dominant pattern of violence against women by known men.
Okay.